I really do believe when we collaborate and we think outside the box, that's when we find more of ourselves and we get to know who we are really. And then we connect with other people and we learn things that we probably wouldn't learn by ourselves. So that would be my one strategy that's really changed me personally, also changed my business.
Hello, fabulous person. Beate Gillette here, the Growth Architect. Welcome back to the Business Growth Architect Show, where we bring you cutting-edge business strategies from some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs, business transformation experts, and visionaries who want to help you to scale your impact. Look for one tangible strategy that you can take back and implement right away. And now back to our guest. Hello, everyone. This is Beate Gillette, your host, the Growth Architect, and welcome to another episode of the Business Growth Architect Show. And today we have a fabulous, opinionated, and passionate woman who is going to introduce herself. Welcome to the show, Rachael. Tell everybody what they need to know about you.
Thank you, Beate, for having me for the show. I really, really do appreciate it. I've read a lot about you. I'm so excited to be on your show. So my name is Rachael Phillips, Rachael April Phillips. I'm from the UK. I've been in business for the last 16 years, but it's only the last 8 years where I started to see success in my business. So I went through rocky ups and downs when getting started. I'm a mum of 4. I'm a wife of 25 years. That's a journey in itself. And so I'm a branding marketing expert. I've been helping people launch, run, and grow their business. You could be a student leaving college. You could be a mother. You could be a business that's wanting to grow, looking for strategies. So we cover different ranges of people. We don't stick to one thing. So around about 4 different kind of clients we work with. So that's what we do.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So the topic of my show, as a business strategist, is all about strategy. When I was checking you out, I have a nagging suspicion you have several strategies that you're using. So share with our audience, with our listeners, what is your favorite strategy, the one thing that everybody needs to know about?
Yeah, you know what? Like I said, it was like the last 8 years I've started to grow my business. And the reason why I didn't grow my business because I use the word selfish. I was very stuck on keeping my business. My business was my baby and I wouldn't let no one else touch it. And I struggled for a long time because I was wearing many hats. And my strategy for me that changed my business was outsourcing, really getting other people involved in your business, finding a tribe, finding a community, finding someone who has the same vision and passion as you. Because, the way I was building my business was like, it's hard work. You got to grind, there's no one out there that's going to have the same vision as you, or people want to steal your business, all that kind of thing. So I was kind of very scared of letting go. So for a long time, I struggled on my own, didn't make any money, made a little bits of money, but nothing really. So it was only recently when I started letting go and collaborating and connecting with other men and women out there, other people had the same passion as me, and also other people I could elevate and help them, which also benefited me. So my strategy would really be like, let go of your business, let go of your baby, and be willing to step out your comfort zone and collaborate with other people, because there's other people who know more than you, but there's other people that will be willing to support your vision and your passion. And that's something I've really, really learned, and something I constantly do all the time. I make sure I'm doing it all the time, because sometimes you still want to pull back when you're thinking that, you're losing all control of your baby, but you're not. You just got creative and different kinds of people with different backgrounds, with different lifestyle stories and journeys that come and help you, and they grow it much better than you. And it becomes a bigger collaborative team and tribe. Now, I used to hear the word tribe, I'd be like, yeah, I'm doing it on my own. But truly, truly, I really do believe when we collaborate and we think outside the box, that's when we find more of ourselves and we get to know who we are really. And then we connect with other people and we learn things that we probably wouldn't learn by ourselves. So that would be my one strategy that's really changed me personally, also changed my business.
I love that you say that. So I want to dive a little bit more into that, because there was so much in there. So you made the decision that as you grow up, and I'm right there with you. It's like somebody's going to come, it's going to take it away from you. You have to protect everything. So the energy, right, is the protective energy is a pushing down energy. It doesn't allow for growth. But when you flip it, the energy of growth, it goes up. It's a whole completely different energy. And so how did you overcome that fear that somebody's going to want to take away something from you? Because, I think in business, I call this the mini me cloning. Rachel, where you know exactly what I mean, right? Yeah. Where the business owner goes like, I have all these qualities. I need to find people just like me. Was there a shift in your head where you said, I'm just not going to do that anymore?
I think for me, I was hitting a brick wall, and actually I had a big crash. Like I said, I've been married 25 years. And because I was using up all my time and energy in my business, I didn't have time for my 4 wonderful, beautiful children. They're grown now in their 20s and 21s and teens. But I realized that I was kind of going inward, and I wasn't actually showing up as myself because I was so overwhelmed and consumed with this having to be successful. Also I realized as well that I've always been a caretaker because I'm the middle child, but the kind of journey I went through as a child, I went through abuse when I was a child, and my sisters did as well. So I was more of the protector. I used to protect them. So I kind of brought that into my life, this strong woman fighting for something and holding on to something because it was the way I felt safe. But, and I kind of adapted that to my business. And it was only through a crash when my marriage almost kind of ended that I had to stop and reflect and look through counseling that, oh gosh, what's going on? I started reflecting on myself, and I realized the certain traits that helped me when I was young wasn't helping me as I grew older. And so I had to adapt, or else I was just going to stay stuck hitting a brick wall. So it wasn't something that I came to like, oh yeah, do this. It was through adversity that made me look at myself and look at my surroundings, look at my business. And, it was hard. It was hard. But the more I did it, the more I saw the results. So I would like to say it was through a decision I wanted to make, but it was through that. But, we learn through crisis, and that's what I'm learning more and more. I've always kind of been, with my personality, I like to have everything perfect, cross all the T's, dot all the I's. And I'm realizing more and more that life isn't that way, that the more you make mistakes, the more you let go of things, the better that you learn to pick yourself up, the better that you learn from your mistakes. Because I wasn't learning because I never made any mistakes. I was trying not to make mistakes all the time. So how can I learn if I don't know what I'm doing? There was no gauge. I wasn't gauging myself. So it's a crazy experience that I'm going through now. I'm free falling, but I absolutely love it, And so now I've got a mentor. I have a business mentor and I have a personal mentor as well. And I always check to make sure that I'm on the track of the goals that I'm doing. And it just helps me a lot, rather than trying to do everything by myself, I grew up in that kind of background thinking everything was done by yourself, but I'm realizing, there's people out there who are qualified, who love doing, things that I can do that I can tap into and use to help me grow.
You said something, and I relate to this really personal because, I was a middle child and I always felt I had to take care of everyone. Do you think that there is a part of it where you have to prove your value by working hard? And that is really something that we have to overcome.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of, since this whole crash, I've been doing a lot of soul searching. My family, I've got 2 siblings and sisters and a brother. And, we're not that close, and I had to look at it and I was just thinking, was I running away from something, And I realized, of course, we're all running away from something, but we don't have time to stop and think, especially as busy men and women entrepreneurs. But I realized if I wanted to be effective, because my heart desires to be effective in the world, to leave something that will help the next person, the next generation, or people that look like me. So if I want to be effective, I first have to kind of affect myself, So, I have to look at myself and say, be honest, am I struggling? Am I going through things? What is going on? And I think me being a workaholic stopped me from doing that. So what I've recently started peeling things back from my life and that's given me time to really assess and look at myself so I can invest in myself. Because when I started, I came in late into the business world. I came in very, very late because I was involved in an organization where women stay at home. I didn't even know about the internet, so I came into it by accident because I was doing network marketing, trying to make some extra money. And then I came into blogging, and then from blogging into coaching, and then building my business. So I learned on the game. I really didn't know anything at all. So I think for me, it was kind of like just trying to find my feet. And when I was learning and looking at websites like marketeers and people who've gone before me, I got all my examples from marketeers, and marketeers do a lot different. They're like work hard, stay up late, all these kind of things. And there were a lot of men. There was no women in my industry when I started in branding and marketing. So
yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, where are the women?
So I took a lot from the men, and so the men were working hard, and so I was doing the same thing. But I had children and I had a husband, so I couldn't keep up. And so eventually it came to a head, and yeah. So it was through self-reflection and looking at myself, I realized, you know what, yeah, I'm doing this for the wrong reason. I need to come back to what my values are, what I really love and what's important to me, and do it from that rather than from trying to be successful, trying to prove, to my parents who don't really care, if I'm successful or not, they love me for who I am. But yeah, it's all those things that you find inside that you don't realize is there,
Yeah, I agree with you. I have a very tumultuous relationship with my mother, not close at all. And she asked me for the first time in my entire life what I actually did for a living about 2 weeks ago. So it is, I think that a part of this letting go part that you are talking about, which I so relate to because I'm in the exact same boat. Business is growing rapidly. And the only way for you to grow is to scale. The only way to scale is to systematize and to identify who subject matter experts are in particular categories that happen to be better at you, better than you at a particular thing. So the part of this, shift from business owner to business leader is how I describe that, is typically very messy. And it's 3 times as much work because you have to now systematize. And you have to create the systems, find people, onboard people, let go at the same time, do quality control and all these other things. So how did you manage that? Because, it gets worse before it gets better. So any tips on when we're using your strategy of let go and scale up, how did you stay sane in all of this?
That's a good question. You know what? I teach about systems, which is the funny thing. That's what I actually help my clients with, but I wasn't doing it myself. I always talk about systems, save yourself time, money, and energy, and that's why I teach. I implement it, I help go into businesses and teach how to do it, but I never did it myself. And so for me, I think what you have to do first is kind of identify what you're really looking to try and achieve, because sometimes we can get caught up in this social media world. You could be on your lane and then you see something brighter and shinier and then you want to jump off your lane or you want to follow and say, well, maybe if I do this strategy, that will work because it looks like it's working for that person. And then you do it for a little while, then you realize it doesn't suit your character, doesn't suit your personality, doesn't suit you. Then you jump off again and then you go and do it. So for me, I found that what works and what's worked for my clients is really find something that's really close to your heart, really find something that's really, really important to you. I know it sounds cliche, but it really is true. I'm finding after 16 years in business now that the more I do things closer to my heart, the more I do things that's authentic to me, and knowing my values. I think knowing your values is very important because it's part of you telling your story, your brand story. It's part of you taking your brand and your business to where you want to go. If you don't know your brand story, if you don't know your values, then you haven't got the roadmap to take you to that destination that you want to get to, because success is never ending. Because, we're always going to be learning, we're always going to be growing. And I think if you know your value and you know what's important to you, then it keeps that energy, keeps that momentum going, because, we don't reach a destination in success. We're always successful and then we go and achieve another goal, especially as A-type personalities. I'm sure like you always learn and you want to grow more, because people say, why do you keep growing? Why do successful people keep building businesses if they've got all the money? And it's not about the money. The people don't really understand. It's about us finding more about ourselves. It's about us making an impact in the world, and it's addictive, and it's, so for me, I think it's your values, who you are, what you really love and what you want to accomplish in the world is very linked to you then finding out how and who you're going to look for, or what team, what person to collaborate and work with you.
You said something very important. A success is never ending. So I had to write that down. My tagline as a growth architect is, we design strategies and blueprints to help visionaries and leaders to scale their impact. Because it is, you're absolutely correct. It's not, at least not most people that I'm surrounded with, right? In the internet marketing world, I think things get a little dicey sometimes because it's all technology, it's all data, it's all about open rates, manipulation of data, and and that circle of marketers that hand each over the next launch and the next launch and the next launch. There's some parts in this where I, struggle with it, frankly, a little bit. I found that that's not an area we can compete because we don't have an operation that's set up like that. We are heart-centered, conscious entrepreneurs. And if you are here to make an impact, then it is about connectivity, spirituality, God, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it. So would you say, Rachael, that in this transformation, let's just call it a transformation that you've been going through, that you have connected to a deeper level of spirituality or essence or God or universe or spirit or whatever you want to call it, and that's lighting that fire a little bit more? Was there a shift for you?
Yeah, that's a really good question. A lot of people don't ask it when it comes to business. So I'm really happy that you do ask, because I think that's very important. I think that's linked to, because your business is you. We are the business. So if we are out of sync and out of shape, then nothing really is going to work. And I've seen a lot recently of, entrepreneurs and business owners dying because they're so stressed out. People I used to follow on social media, and you hear, this person's passed away, this person's passed away. And I'll be like, oh. And sometimes I'll be seeing they'll be workaholic, working so hard. And I think, it's so important that we take time to kind of like identify and, have self-care. I know for me personally, I'm going to talk about my journey. And I think for me, I got to that place where I've always been a spiritual person. I always, in my mind, I never say it out loud, I want to be the Mother Teresa of business, because I think business, the way business is taught, they take away the spirituality, take away the authenticity, the soul of it. And I think it's important to bring the soul back, because I think it's the soul that's going to change, people's minds, going to influence. If you want to influence the world, you've got to be authentic, and authentic comes from your soul, it comes from your heart, it comes from your spirit. So my journey has been that. It's kind of like peeling back and looking back really at what's really important to me. I had to go and do a values list. I went back and did a 10 list, most important things to me, and said to me, why are these important to me, and what do they mean to me? I did that with my mentor as well. I realized that, a lot of the stuff that I was doing, I was pulling away from my values. A lot of them wasn't even linked to it, because I was chasing what people was telling me to do, because business, then I realized I need to bring back myself into the mix of my business, and really look into, what inspires me, what motivates me, what keeps me at peace. Because if I'm stressed out, then I'm not really going to be effective as well. And also as well, I wasn't getting, because I'm a mum and a wife, my husband wasn't getting a lot of me. My husband's been going through illness at the moment as well. And so it's important now that I pull back, because I'm going to miss those important times for my family, and sometimes when we give so much to other people, we lose that opportunity to give back to ourselves. But I think if we build a holistic business that's centered on who we are and our core values, then we can give to others and also give to ourselves, because then you're in flow. You're doing something that's part of you. You're not splitting yourself up, saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. You're just all in one. And then your tribe and the people you connect with become a family. I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. The more you kind of do things that align with you, then you're building a family, you're building something more than just clients. You're building something bigger than that, that's going to last long term. Because I think our heart desires to live a legacy that impacts the world. So the way we do that is by building family, because family will always last forever.
This has been so timely, because I feel that the stress that we're all experiencing, especially right now in uncertainty of this experience we all going through, that changes the way we live, we work, we value things. At the same time, the hostility and the way people connect with each other, that's becoming much more pointed and less patient with each other. So I think it's almost like the ministry of doing what you do and what I do is becoming more important because we have to somehow figure out how to be the calm in the storm to tell people it's going to be okay. And the only way to do that is to have a foundation and to be truly anchored. So interesting, because I'm going through this exact thing. I just rented my house. I moved in with my fiance. Now the house is rented. Now I have to move out my office. I have 10 days because they want to be here, as quickly as possible, understandably.
Wow.
And, while the business is taking off, and it's all happening at the same time. So how, and this is going to be my final question to you, is as you are in the storm of change and all these things are happening, life is happening. Care to share like a technique, or maybe a bonus strategy on how did you anchor yourself and say, okay, this is how much I'm going to do today, and this is where I stop. How do you do that?
You know what? For me, it's dream. You got to have a dream that's big enough that really, really captures you. Because if I suppose people say your why as well. I didn't really have a significant dream. I wanted to be in business. I wanted to be, a public speaker, be on stage, blah, blah, blah. Those are good. I want to help impact the world. But what is your dream? What is something that really motivates and gives you passion when you get up in the morning? That for me, my dream started to become more clearer. And once my dream became more clearer, it gave me that strength to kind of like narrow down my path. Rather than my path was quite big, but the more and more my dream became more clear, it made me narrow it down. So things that would pull me away from that dream, I couldn't say no before. I was like, yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll do it because of the money. Yes, 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 yes. Now I'm like, no, yes, the money might be good, but you know what? I'm narrowing down my path because I've got to go to the destination of my dream. Do you know what I mean? Because this is what I'm here for. I suppose it's your purpose, your calling, whatever you want to call it. I started to realize that more, that's that magnet that's drawing me. So when I know that, it gives me that strength and that confidence to turn things down, to say yes to things, and also to kind of like organize and, be disciplined in life. I wasn't that much disciplined because I didn't have a why, I didn't have a passion. So these things drive you, because again, it's your drivers, deep inside drivers and desires that we forget as people because we're so busy doing other things. But those things are the things that the universe has given to us. Sometimes you think, when I was going through my journey, why am I here? What is my purpose? And really, it's my drive, my desires, and my passion. And those are the things, if I listen to it, if I take out the time, are what I'm here for. But if I don't take out the time to discover it, then I'm going to go off course. And so now the more I focus on that dream, focus on my desires, listen to what my heart desires telling me, the easier it is to say no to certain things, say yes to things, and collaborate with the right people. So I think that's very, very, very important. You hear a lot of people talking about, childhood trauma, things we've gone through as children, and those things play an important part. This is my journey that I'm going through it right now. And I'm realizing that the more I know myself, the more I can have an impact. I can't have an impact on the world if I don't first have an impact on me. A lot of business owners, a lot of marketers are trying to have an impact on the world, me included, I was doing before, but never had an impact on myself. And you're going to go and burn out and you're going to crash. It will happen. It might not be now, but it will happen. So I'm just taking more time to make sure that I'm centered and I'm really going and pursuing my passion, my purpose, and my why and my dream. And then through that, I can inspire and help other people because I'm whole, I'm steady. So then people can lean on me. I'm not going to make people, because we're working with people. I can't, destroy people's lives and say something that's not real, so it's got to be authentic to me first.
I love that. Well, this has been amazing. I mean, there's so much in there. I think I could talk to you for, like another 2 hours. This has been amazing. So will you tell our audience, now that they've fallen in love with you, where can they go and find you?
Yeah, I'm all through social media. You can find me on Rachael Academy on Instagram, Rachael Phillips on LinkedIn, obviously my website, rachelacademy.com. And you can find me on Amazon as well. I've got quite a lot of books on there about business, branding, marketing. If you're looking for ideas and strategies to grow your business, you can find me on that. I've got ebooks as well. I'm quite everywhere. I've got content lots online. So you can find me. Just put my name, Rachael Phillips or Rachael Phillips or Rachael Academy, and things will come up.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here, spending time with us. And this has been an absolute joy. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with the audience.
you for having me. Really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's it for us today. Thank you for listening and watching the Business Growth Architect Show. I enjoyed having you here. And for accountability, just take one of the strategies that you have heard, one thing that you can implement in your business immediately. Please leave comments. Don't forget to like and share this show. And if you have any questions about business, please put them in the comments. We are here for you. We're here to support you and help you to grow, build, and scale your own business. For more advice, please check out our website in the show notes below. Thank you again. This is Beate Gillette, the Growth Architect, and goodbye.